Hamas has handed over 2 Israeli detainees to the International Red Cross officials in Rafah, southern Gaza, as part of the 7th batch in the first phase of the ceasefire agreement. This phase involves the release of 6 detainees. In exchange, 602 Palestinian detainees, including 50 serving life sentences, 60 with long sentences, and 445 from Gaza arrested after October 7th, 2023, are set to be released from Israeli prisons. The International Red Cross has received 3 additional Israeli detainees from Hamas at the Al-Nusayrat refugee camp in central Gaza following the earlier release of 2 others in Rafah. This release is part of the 7th batch of the detainees in the first phase of the ceasefire agreement, which involves the release of 6 detainees. Among those freed were Alia Cohen, Omar Shim Tov, and Omar Winkert. Additionally, a detainee named Hisham Al-Sayed from Gaza was also released without ceremony. Hamas has announced its readiness to move forward with the second phase of the ceasefire agreement in Gaza, which includes a comprehensive detainee exchange aimed at achieving a permanent ceasefire and the complete withdrawal of Israeli military forces. In a statement, Hamas warned against any Israeli attempts to renege on the ceasefire and emphasized that the only way to secure the return of all detainees from Gaza is through negotiations and strict adherence to the terms of the ceasefire agreement. Head of the Supreme Committee for Palestinian Prisoners and Detainee Affairs, Amin Shuman, has stated that the Red Cross informed the committee that Israeli authorities have postponed the release of the 7th batch of prisoners under the exchange deal until 8 p.m. Jerusalem time. Following the announcements, families who had gathered at the Qasr Ramallah Cultural Center to welcome the detainee departed the venue. This latest delay intensified concerns surrounding the ongoing prisoner exchange negotiations. The Israeli army has confirmed that the body handed over by Hamas to Israel through the International Committee of the Red Cross on Friday belongs to Sherry Bibas. This follows a mix-up earlier in the week when an incorrect body was delivered to Israel, which Tel Aviv stated was that of a Palestinian citizen. The clarification marks a resolution to the dispute over the identity of the remains. The Israeli Detainee Families Association in Gaza has accused Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of obstructing a detainee exchange deal designed to secure the release of detainees, alleging that his actions are aimed at appeasing coalition partners at the expense of families. The group emphasized that 63 detainees remain in Gaza and claimed that U.S. President Donald Trump and his Middle East envoy are committed to returning more detainees than Netanyahu has managed. They warned that attempts to derail the second phase of the exchange agreement must be stopped, insisting no family should pay the price for the government's failure. Israeli President Isaac Herzog has called for every available measure to be used to secure the return of detainees from the Gaza Strip, describing the exchange agreement as a humanitarian and ethical imperative. Herzog stressed that immediate action is needed to bring the detainees home. Opposition leader Yair Lapid has urged the government to proceed without delay to the second phase of the detainee exchange deal. Lapid emphasized the critical need for the prompt return of all Israeli detainees from Gaza, adding to mounting pressure on the government to expedite the process. Leader of the Israeli Democrat Party, Yair Golan, has criticized Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, stating that everyday detainees remain in Gaza due to the government's neglect. Israeli media reported that Netanyahu is holding security consultations tonight to discuss plans for recovering all detainees, both living and deceased, as political pressure intensifies. At the Rafah border crossing, Egyptian authorities have welcomed the 20th batch of Palestinian patients and injured individuals arriving from the Gaza Strip. The group, which includes 37 patients and 59 companions, arrived as part of Egypt's ongoing efforts to provide essential medical assistance and support to the people of Gaza. The Speaker of the Egyptian Parliament has condemned malicious plans aimed at displacing Palestinians from Gaza, emphasizing that they seek to eliminate the Palestinian cause. He highlighted Egypt's role in providing diplomatic protection to prevent such schemes. Additionally, Egypt is developing a comprehensive multi-phase recovery and reconstruction plan for Gaza, ensuring Palestinians remain. He added that Egypt's approach stresses that regional and global stability depends on final settlements, guaranteeing an independent Palestinian state with East Jerusalem as its capital. The United Nations has expressed concern over the ongoing Israeli aggression in the cities of the West Bank, particularly in the north, for the second consecutive month. The spokesperson for the UN Secretary General Stefan Dujarric stated that the United Nations remains concerned about the continuous operations carried out by Israeli forces in the northern part of the West Bank, which are the longest since the early 2000s.
President Zelensky sits in office after duly held elections. Michelle,